Well, let's try something a bit different, but don't worry, the huge projects you actually want to watch are coming soon, so they're in the works, I just need more time. Anyway, so yesterday, Nintendo had a new Nintendo Direct, right? And as usual, I was excited, and I think you already saw the react. Me and my friend and I, Mike, lost our shits when we saw Fire Emblem Three Hopes. Three Hopes. Shit. We were very excited for that game, but naturally a lot of fans were not very satisfied with that because at the end of the day, it's a Warriors game, Muso game, however you want to call it, it's that. So it's pretty ironic. You guys already know me as perhaps Fire Emblem Warriors' biggest hater, and that has not changed. Watch my video that I made over a year ago, and I really hate that game. I fucking despise that game. One day I'm gonna make a video on my most hated video games of all time, besides Fates, and you bet Fire Emblem Warriors will be there. So, but still, here I was pretty excited. I was honestly pretty excited. So, what was different? For starters, the game is clearly focusing on Fire Emblem Three Houses. And as you know, I fucking adore this game. I fucking love this game. Ever since 2019, I even today, I still feel a strong attachment to it because I've noticed that a lot of people don't feel the same way anymore as when the game released, like a honeymoon phase, as they call it. But I still think greatly of that game. Is it perfect? No, I think there's so many things that could have been better in the story, the gameplay, and especially the graphics. So, but still, for what it was, I was super satisfied with it, extremely happy, and it's easily one of my favorite Switch games. So, a focus on that made me so happy. And if you recall, one of my main complaints about the first Fire Emblem Warriors is that they call this, oh, it's a celebration of Fire Emblem, we're so equitative, whatever, and it was mostly Fates, Awakening, Shadow Dragon, and some leftovers. So, and as you know, I fucking incredibly despise Fates, like you can't imagine. Actually, let me... These are my copies of Fates. I don't even display them because I just don't want to see them. And look at how broken they are. Anyway, so, okay. First of all, I did not like that the roster in the first Warriors game was mostly focused on Fates. But here, I won't complain because they're already telling you, hey, this is Fire Emblem Three Houses. If the whole roster is just Fire Emblem Three Houses, with a few new OCs for the game, whatever, I'll be totally fine with that. I do not mind in the slightest, because they're already telling me. I don't have to expect to see Hector, Eliwood, all of those other characters from other games that I love. So, yeah, that's the first reason I'm excited for the game. So, okay, how can I feel so excited when I hated the first Warriors game so much? And that is because... okay, since this game is mostly focusing on Three Houses, I'm hopeful that they can take some of the game's best qualities and characters, grinding, whatever, and make something great out of it. Maybe, definitely in story. I think the story, maybe it won't be as... I have the feeling this will be a story where everyone is friends, the golden route, where everyone survives, lives happy, yada yada yada. Even if it contradicts a few themes from Three Houses, I don't mind it much here because it's a spin-off. It's a spin-off, and that's all the reason I need. And besides, I've been playing Fire Emblem Heroes for 5 years, and I can tell you how many times they make it clear that, hey, why is this character alive? Why is this evil dude an ally now? And they always say, oh, maybe in this alternate world, this character was actually a good guy. Maybe this other character did not die. So... yeah, maybe I just got numb to the idea of, oh no, somebody has to die, yada, you only have to pick one side, whatever. So, that's one thing. The other, a few, there's Hyrule Warriors, right? And I fucking love this game. Yeah, people consider Muso games to be junk food, and they're totally right. Muso games are something that you turn your brain off and enjoy. You kill legions and legions of characters. And yeah, that's been the case with the first Hyrule Warriors, and I've also played One Piece Pirate Warriors 3, and it's just that. It's so fun seeing your characters go crazy with their unique movesets and whatnot. But I realized that Muso games can actually be something more. I mean, they can still be just dumb, mindless fun, but take for example Age of Calamity. I honestly really like what they did there. Sure, it had a happy ending where everyone survives thanks to some contrived bullshit, but again, it's a fucking spin-off. And even then, I felt that Age of Calamity had enough qualities to differentiate itself from other Muso games. It wasn't just hacking and slashing. I thought it borrowed very well a lot of elements from Breath of the Wild to make it more unique. And yeah, I really liked Age of Calamity. I thought that was a very unique and different Muso game. So I do believe they can do the same with Three Houses. They can take, for example, I can totally see the monastery making a return. I can totally see that being between the battles, but if it's not, that's fine. But I can totally see Three Hopes being a more unique adventure from the average Muso. What's next? Okay, so as excited as I am for this game, at the same time, I'm also very scared because the first game left such a terrible taste in my mouth. So aside from the terrible roster, I also really hated how there were so many clones. Almost half of the cast, I believe, it was a copy of a copy of a copy, and I hated that because Fire Emblem has a ton of great, unique characters, so by making them clones, you honestly deprive them of whatever makes them unique. It didn't tell me, hey, this character is Cordelia, hey, this character is Frederick, this character is blah 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 blah. So it felt like I was playing some generic soldier, and I hated that. And even if there was a character I did not like, it did not give them an opportunity for me to get more attached to them, to say something like, oh, Leo is very unique. Wow, look at Liz, she has so much personality in her moveset. No, because they were copy-paste of one another, and I did not like that. So I won't lie, I'm honestly very scared that Three Hopes will do the same thing, because when I know we only have one trailer by far, but you can clearly see that Dimitri has a few things that I think Chrom had in some of his specials, but Cloud has the archer moveset, and every single archer in the first Warriors game was exactly the same. So yeah, I hope they don't take the clones route. Maybe I'll listen, but it'll be easier for me to digest this time because I like the Three Houses characters a lot. But at worst, I'm neutral, but at best, I fucking love so much the Three Houses cast. Maybe except for the villains, because they were kind of pathetic. Those who slither in the dark, they were very undercooked. But at the same time, I have the feeling that they actually learned that lesson, because they do not have to limit themselves anymore by the weapon triangle, which is a huge reason as to why the first Warriors clones were like that. In Three Houses there was no weapon triangle outside of a few skills: Swordbreaker, Axebreaker, and Lancebreaker. So I'm saying so a lot, I'm very sorry. That's what happens when you improvise these things. I'm hopeful that they won't limit themselves anymore and give their characters more personality, more unique movesets. And it looks hopeful because I just complained about Cloud, but at the same time, you can see on the trailer that he's on his Wyvern. And that's an entirely new thing. A Wyvern archer? I'm all down for that. He was like that in Three Houses, and I'm very glad they brought that here, and he's not just on foot throwing arrows. So I have two theories. Either you have movesets based on different classes, or each character is very unique. We can see this as Cloud has two movesets, or he can change between them at any time, being on foot or being on his Wyvern. At the same time, we also have Edelgard, my favorite character. Anyway, she has her axe and a shield, so I have high hopes they will do something very original. I mean, Violet, well, the career sword, I don't think I saw it on the trailer, but it's most likely there. So I can imagine Violet will go around swinging their sword, but at the same time it's a whip. I imagine Rhea will be playable, she can become a dragon, I don't know. So, fine. The roster. How can they make the roster unique? I think almost every single Three Houses character is very beloved, but let's keep the expectations a bit realistic. Let's pretend every character will be extremely unique to each own, but that means not everyone will be playable. So let's pretend you can pick 4 characters from each faction, right? So for Black Eagles, Edelgard, of course, she's the guarantee. Hubert, because we saw him on the trailer and he's like the second in command of the Black Eagles, so it makes a lot of sense. And I love Hubert. He's a dark mage, and I bet they can do something unique with dark mage spells, whatever. I will also put Dorothea. Dorothea because she's like the designated dancer of Three Houses. She's the canon one, you could say, and she uses magic. So yeah, more of maybe something about magic, dancing, and a swordplay. That will be very cool. And finally, I will say Petra or Ferdinand. Well, Petra will be more interesting, but Ferdinand is kind of a meme. But realistically, Bernadetta is the most popular. Is an extremely popular character from the Black Eagles, and she could be an archer on horseback. So I wouldn't mind Bernadetta. So, but we gotta see. For Blue Lions, Dimitri and Dudu, guaranteed. But I'll also put Felix so we can have our generic swordmaster on foot, but also because Felix is one of my favorite characters in Three Houses, and in general, he's just very popular. And as for the 4th, I will say Sylvain, but to make it a bit more unique, I will think Ingrid will make a lot more sense, since she can be a Pegasus, a Lance Pegasus flyer, whatever. But I'll be okay if any of both of the 2 make it. As for
Golden Deer,
Cloud, Hilda absolutely has to be playable. I'll be mad if Hilda is not there, especially because she's like the unofficial second in command. It's weird because it's either her or Lawrence, but whatever. Hilda, Lysithia, because her popularity is undeniable, and she's also a dark mage, so there's that. And 4th, I will honestly put my bets on Lawrence. He can just be a lance cavalier, but maybe he can use magic on horseback. Magic and a lance. We don't know how the movesets will be, but I'll be very happy if they make every character unique. As then, the Ashen Wolves. I mean, there's only 4 Ashen Wolves members, I love them all, but if you cannot have them, at least I beg you, I fucking beg you, put Yuri in the game. Yuri is a character that absolutely deserves more, and I honestly hope Yuri is part of the story some way or another. That's an incredible character, he absolutely deserves more. Because in Cinder Shadows, you could say he was the protagonist, he's the leader of the Ashen Wolves, but the protagonism there was shared between the 4 members. Yuri, Constance, Balthus, and Happy. I love all 4 of them, but Yuri is the one that left me saying, I want more of this guy. So yeah, if you can add the 4 Ashen Wolves, that's amazing. If not, at least I beg you, put Yuri. As for the church, it will be very nice to finally have Rhea playable. So I think it's also mandatory you cannot have Rhea without Seteth, and you cannot have Seteth without Flame. And I think all of them can make interesting choices of their own. And finally, I will say maybe Shamir, because she's also very popular, she's a character I do like. I cannot be certain on who can be the 4th church member, or fuck it, maybe just put Jeritza, I don't know. I bet those who slither in the dark characters will be playable too. I can totally bet on the Death Knight, Jeritza, however you want to call him. Maybe Kronia, because we saw Monica was playable. Maybe it's the real Monica, and I am very excited about that. Maybe Monica. Yeah, but the villains, I don't pay them too much mind. And of course, we're gonna have playable, what's it called? OCs. Playable OCs. So yeah, that's just mere speculation, but I honestly hope that the roster is varied, and if you can make everyone unique, very well. I just hope they take the right route. Yeah, actually, I think I just said everything I wanted to say. So as a conclusion, I really hope they learn their mistakes from the first Fire Emblem Warriors, even though it was a success. But as a Fire Emblem fan myself, I fucking despise that game. But I said that already too many times. I hope they learn from their mistakes. I hope there's another director. And that they make the game unique. Make me feel that, hey, this is the essence of Three Houses, and we adapted that to a Muso game. Kind of like how Age of Calamity, and I hear the Persona 5 Strikers game was also like that. It was a very unique Muso game. So let's be optimistic, and as you know, well, there's a Fire Emblem tier list video on the works. So that will take me a few more days, but it will be worth it. I hope you look forward to it. And as usual, thank you. Let me know if you enjoy this type of format where I just give a quick opinion on the matter. Anyway, have a nice day and take care. I'll see you next time.